Hello, welcome to Monday Morning Matters live broadcast show brought to you by Magnicraft Consulting Team, anchored by Niyi Dunmade, a certified church consultant with the Society for Church Consulting in the U.S. Here, each Monday of every week, we address important, relevant, and actionable topics of interest that will help you and your church grow healthier. And now, meet your host, Niyi Dunmade.
Welcome. So delighted to come your way this morning. Welcome everyone to Monday Morning Matters. My name is Niyi Dunmade, founder, CEO, Magnicraft Consulting. Magnicraft Consulting is a church consulting firm that helps local churches grow healthier through empirical assessment, trainings, and strategic blueprints. I want to welcome every one of us on this live broadcast show. It's been wonderful coming your way every week for the past 4 years, and it's been hot every week with new season topic. But this year, we're going to wrap up with the juice from this topic: when church growth becomes a problem. I can tell you, if you have not come to this state of when, you are not really serious about church growth. So when church growth becomes a problem, one thing about church growth is that you get to a point whereby you have created a problem and you have to solve that problem before you can go to the next level to encounter a higher dimension of problem. Because for every barrier, for every level, there's something to conquer, there's something to overcome, and there's an obstacle to get out of the way, so that the growth of your church will be meaningful. We want to welcome you to this Facebook Live broadcast show. Thank you for hooking up with us on Monday Morning Matters. Magnicraft Consulting is here to help you. If you're a church leader, we are into church consulting. Our vision is to be the leading church health consultancy that creates sustainable and adaptable solutions. So we looked at the sustainability of a solution, the adaptability of the solution, and the action ability of that solution. I'm a certified church consultant with the Society for Church Consulting in the US, and also a certified church consultant with Church Answers University. And Tom Rayner, who is the founder and the CEO of Church Answers University, or Church Consultation University, has a fantastic promo on how to become a certified church consultant. And I can tell you that if you get this, even as a pastor or a lead pastor, a church leader, you're going to help lead your church well. So become a certified church consultant to help your own church, to help other churches revitalize and become healthier. By just going through this course, you become certified and you'll be equipped with a lot of information that will help you in a great way to lead your church well. I've gone through the content is fantastic. I'm sure a lot of you are picking my brains because of the things I know. But then, as a church health guardian of the 21st century, there's so much you cannot glean by just picking my brains. Also, I just want to make sure that you have access to where you can get some of the things I'm getting and learning from. Big thank you to those who are commenting, who are reaching out to us to tell us how timely our content is. Some people called from far and near, and I thank you for those who are reaching out to us through comments, through calls, and thank you for all. We also appreciate all the super thanks. If you are YouTube fans, please give us super thanks. That will help us to support the channel, to also assist other churches become healthier. Please get my book on church retention, Pathway to Growth. There are few copies available. It's going out of stock, so please make sure you get your copy. It's going to help you greatly in leading your church and becoming healthier. There's a post I put on my Facebook post. If you have been going on my Facebook, I've been quite a lot of church growth tips I have. I've been so busy these days to write an article, to put up some blog, but I felt okay on the spot on my busy schedule. I can just be putting some short, rich posts on my Facebook page, and it's been. I mean, some people have privatized me and saying no, they love some of those content. They are rich. Some of those things are richer than just the 160 character, really. And so I want to just go on my Facebook page, Niyi Dunmade. Usually I have a soft spot for pastors. If you're a pastor and notice you're a serious pastor, I will accept your friend request. I think that's one of the priorities I give to those who are following me on my Facebook page. And so one of the posts I put up there is, knowing the state of your flock can help you determine an effective discipleship plan. Because see, that's what the Bible says in Acts of Apostles, that do all you can to know the state of thy flock. There's a community of pastors and consultants that I am, and there was a question that was asked. Probably that's even a pastor himself. He asked, what's the primary functions? What's the 3 primary functions of a pastor? And that was very, very, you might imagine a pastor asking a question, or someone who is leading a church asking that question, what are the 3 primary functions of a pastor? And so a lot of people, I love that community so well. Church Answers community is a gold mine. If you are not there, you are missing a lot as a leader or as a pastor. Go there, you'll see quite a lot of things to learn from. If you are someone that want to learn, if you're someone that want to rest on the shoulders of people who have gone into any area or any sphere of life, you're going to see that Church Answers community is the place to be. You know, one of the things I used to tell my proteges, it is wrong for you to go through a mistake that someone has gone through around you. Learn from other people's experiences. Learn from other people's experiences, and then don't repeat them. Learn and become better from them. So the answer to that question, the 3 primary functions of a pastor, people said preach, people said lead, people said visit, manage the church, people said set up ministries, disciple, develop, maintain a healthy church culture, raise up, equip, develop leaders, oversee ministry. And then the 3 hearts, that's the preach, lead, shepherd by Brad Wagner. And see, know the sheep is one thing that you cannot but have as a church leader. You have to know when the sheep is hungry. You have to know when the sheep is sick. You have to know when the sheep is thirsty. You have to know when the sheep needs shelter. So know the sheep, feed the sheep, lead the sheep, protect the sheep was a take home for me. Okay, you have to provide spiritual leadership, vision casting, and being a good steward of God resources. You have to pray and protect the sheep. You have to equip the people for the vision, actualization, and ministry. And so, depending on the size of your church, it depends on how you're going to lead, how you're going to feed, how you're going to know, and how you are going to protect. Because when you are a church, a small church, how you're going to know the state of the sheep will be different from when the church is 2,000. When the church is small, below 100, a pastor can know every one of his sheep. But when the church has gone beyond 200, 300, 400, a single pastor cannot know all the sheep. So then you need to create a system where you can begin to know what is going on with the sheep under your the fact that the church is growing does not mean that you are exonerated for knowing what is going on with the sheep. That means if you don't want to set up a system, that means that you are telling God that you don't deserve the increase and the expansion or the growth that God has brought your way. So feed the sheep. Okay, the way you feed 50 sheep are different from 5,000 sheep. So feed the sheep, lead the sheep, protect the sheep is very, 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 very important. Protect the sheep is very, very important because sheep are very vulnerable. Sheep are very, very vulnerable. And so we need to make sure that you are protecting the sheep at all costs. Protecting the sheep at all costs. Protecting the sheep at all costs. And so one of the things I'll say quickly is that depending on the size of your church, you need to begin to know how you're going to express in terms of knowing the sheep, leading the sheep, feeding the sheep, and protecting the sheep. But then, why I'm saying all this is because we have to tackle the problem that church growth brings. The problem that church growth brings. I'm going to go straight into my desktop quickly so that you'll be able to understand what is going on with the numbers I want to show quickly. All right. So get my book. You're going to be able to get some of the good things here. What I'm trying to say in the church retention calculation is the higher the retention, the less visitors volume you need in your front door, and the higher the retention, the lesser time you need to be able to convert those visitors volume to members of your church. And then the lower the amount of money you're going to use to process those guests. Now that's a kind of summary of that church retention calculation. So when your church is going at 30%, for example, for a church to move from 250, it takes to 338, you have 360 guests. So 360 guests are coming into your front door. You cannot even hit the number of guests you are getting into your front door in 35 weeks because you are going at a low retention rate of 30%. Okay, do you understand what I'm saying? I'm going to repeat that. You have 360 guests coming into your front door, but you cannot get 360 people in your church when you are running a 30% retention rate within 35 weeks. But you see, one of the things about a 70% retention rate is that with the same visitors volume coming to your front door, you can double within that same time. So I'm comparing 30% retention rate and 70% retention rate. So with 70% retention rate, with the same guest volume coming to your front door, within 35 weeks, you can double your church in 70% retention rate. So what I'm trying to say, I'm going to repeat, is that when you are going on a higher retention rate, you need a lower visitors volume to come to your front door, and the lesser time your church needs to be able to double, and the lower the amount of money you're going to spend to process all the guests. Because when you are going at a low retention rate, for example, you are going at a low retention rate of 10%. Okay, 10%, you need almost 2,000 guests to come into your church to be able to double. And to double, you need about 4 years. And of course, you can't not just begin to quantify the amount of money, energy, time you are going to spend to be able to process those almost 2,000 guests coming to your church. And so you can see that just having your retention right, your church is going to grow. Because I discussed with a lot of pastors, every pastor wants their church to grow. And then the thing is, what makes the church grow is retention. Once you have your retention right, then you're going to deliver church growth to your church. And so we in subsequent Mondays, get to the screen, we talked about the variables that affect church growth: the backdoor rate, attrition rate, your invitation rate to attendance rate, your retention rate, your percent of inviters, that's the percent of inviters to your congregation attendance, the invite per week, invite per person per week, and the percentage of inviters per week. Now, all those things are variables that affect your church growth dynamics. Okay, I think we explained that subsequent Mondays. If you have missed that, please, that will help you to be able to see how you're going to move from where you are to where you need to be. Now, the other one I wanted to say here that creates a lot of concern for us in our church growth effort has to do with if your church is growing on a 1-to-1 conversion rate. We are saying that if your church is 100, right? Okay, and a 1-to-1 retention rate. Okay, in the first year, you're going to become 100. Okay, in the second year, become 200. The third year, you become 400. In the fourth year, you become 800. We are saying that in the third year, you will have added 700 to the 100 that was in your church for the first year, and in the fourth year, you will have added 1,500 people into your church, becoming 1,600 people in your church in 4 years. I'm saying, assuming that it takes you 3 years to mature a disciple. Okay, 3 years of consistently following Jesus to be able to mature that disciple. So what we are saying is that once your church gets to the third year, we have about 12.5% who are going to be matured disciples, and we have almost 90% of your congregation who will not be matured as disciples. So we're going to have a lot of babies in the church. We're going to have a lot of immature disciples in the church. But the thing is, as we go into the fourth year, you find out that the congregation that started in 100 has got to 1,600, but the percentages are different. You have 6.25. If it takes 4 years to be able to mature disciples, it takes 6.25 to be able to the 6.25 out of your congregations as mature disciples, and over 93% of your congregation in the fourth year. So the longer you are maintaining the 1-to-1 ratio, the more babies you're going to be having, and the lesser disciples if you don't have the effective discipleship plan to mature disciples on an ongoing basis. It does not stop. Okay, it's an ongoing basis. That is a discipleship process. Is an ongoing basis that you must put in place to ensure that your church has enough disciples to disciple the people in your church, young converts in your church as a whole. And so I want us to just go back to my screen, and then I'll let you know some of the things that I'll be discussing subsequently. What are the mentalities that this church growth has created? The problem this church growth has created. Okay, we're going to look at some of them subsequent Mondays. I'm going to just run through all of them, and then you're going to have a consumerism mentality. Okay, demanding mentality. You have people in your church who are going to be demanding, having coming to church to be served instead of coming to church to serve. Okay, consumerism mentality, or a demanding mentality. We're going to have a congregation that is going to be a pleasing mentality, because if you have so much of babies in your church, the leadership of the church will want to please, to pacify them, to make sure that they are okay. There's AC, there's all kinds of good things for them. Give them sweets, give them coffee. So the babies in the church will be having a kind of pleasing me mentality, an insider mentality, a self-focused mentality, a shortcut mentality, because babies don't like to go through all the hurdles, all the real process, the rigor of going through the right channel to get things done. So there's a lot of shortcut, there's a lot of adverse to growth. Babies don't want to be thrown out of their comfort by bringing new people to change their attention from from them to the new this is. So there's a lot of chaos mentality. Okay, babies always want to cry, throw tantrums and things like that. Inconsistent mentality, complacency mentality, risk averse. Babies don't take risk. It is people who are matured and adults that usually calculate risk, and they get reward for that. Then the attention seeking mentality. We're going to look at all these mentalities, and I just want you to understand how this church growth scenario creates a problem. And once your church begins to come to a point whereby can we develop our systems to deal with this problem? Can we develop ourselves to address this problem? Can we come to a point whereby if we find ourselves in this scenario where people are coming in mass through our front door, we're doing all it takes to retain them. We're doing all it takes to mature them. Remember, I said one of the primary roles of a pastor is to know the state of their flocks and to mature them and to disciple them and to make sure that you lead them well, you feed them well, and you nurture them well to grow in the Lord. I want to wrap it up here so that it will be in good time. Thank you for following me all through the broadcast. We're going to continue this to dissect some of those mentalities subsequently. You have any church related question for me? You have any inquiries for me? I've said something that you don't understand. If I sometimes I say a lot of things that is deeper than what I say. So please watch this video over and over again. All my social medias are open. I always respond to any question. Sure, you're going to get more than an answer from me. You have any inquiries for me? Please feel free to contact me on any of the social media Magnicraft Consulting. Please help us to push this video out. Thank you for those who are liking. Please, this video has been helpful to you. Give us a like, do us shares to your community, share me to your pastors, drop us a comment. You like some things, you don't like some things. Let me learn from you. You've learned from me already. I want to learn from you. Give us some super thanks on YouTube so that we can get to reach out to more people. Artificial intelligence of the social media handles be able to favor us. Drop us a comment. Just let us get the conversation going from here. All right, from here. Please feel free to get the conversation going from here. You have any question for me? Please let us know. Go on to any of our social media handles and let us continue the conversation. We do consultations, we do revitalizations, we do trainings for church staff, pastors, church workers. We also help in strategic planning. You are going to 2023. You want to come up with a plan. You want to come up with some goal settings for your church. We can help you from where you are to get to a better position. Reach out to us so we can help you and help your church in a great measure. All right, till I come your way next week Monday with the continuation of when church growth becomes a problem. I say bye-bye. God bless you. And I love you. And I'm praying for you, pastors. God bless you indeed. Thank you.